this is Ree here. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all of you. Om Kalim Kalike Namaha. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It really helps me a lot. Don't forget to check out my website, paradxastrology.com. Book your consultation today. I can help you with anything. And if you would like more exclusive occult videos that I don't post on YouTube, consider subscribing to my Patreon. It also helps to support this channel. Okay, let's get into this video about the month of July. And these are just the major events and aspects that I see. Now, Saturn turned retrograde on June 30th. So since it's been there, it's been inching closer and closer to an exact aspect with Mars. July 1st, it's within 3 degrees. This can bring a sense of frustration as Mars is a planet of action and Saturn is a planet of being slow and cautious. So these are opposite energies and they can cause irritation, wanting to move forward but not being able to. Saturn wants us to really evaluate a situation. Those who are less conscious can escalate these emotions into anger or violence, sudden outbursts. But remember, you are not a victim to your chart and you have free will. Your free will overrides the stars. So the more conscious you are, the more power you will have over your destiny. And it's not just me saying that. The great Saint Yogananda told us this. Saturn will be stationed since June 25th until July 5th. So this is where we'll see most of the major events occurring around the world. It is when Saturn's energy is at its peak this month in Purva Bhadrapada. Interesting enough, on July 5th, we have a new moon in Ardhara Nakshatra. This nakshatra has something in common with Purva Bhadrapada, which is Rudra, the storm god. Rudra is very fierce in Ardhara, as its symbol is a teardrop, which can cause events of sorrow, but after there's a sense of renewal and change takes place. 9/11, COVID, for examples, were when Rahu was in Ardhara. Now, this moon happens once a month and happens once a year conjunct the sun. So I'm not here trying to scare you to say that these things are going to happen again. No, these are just examples of events that occurred that were life-changing afterwards. Now, Rudra in Purva Bhadrapada is even more fierce than when it's in Ardhara and creates a cutting off. It's a destructive nature and an exit from this world, as in a death or an ending. On this day, Saturn will be aspecting Mars by the third aspect to an exact degree. Saturn and Mars causes events of violence, anger, accidents, injuries, etc. around the world. Saturn will be in the 9th house, and the 9th house is of judges, it's of law, international law, litigations, world organizations, foreign affairs, foreign ministries, foreign trade, shipping, the Navy, and long-distance travels. Also higher institutions of learning. Saturn will be aspecting Mars, and Mars will be in the 11th house, which signifies the parliament, legislation, the Senate, the country, departments of the government, friends of the nation, social circles, alliances, the people, and gains from other nations. So Saturn will also be trying the moon and the sun during this new moon, bringing emotions into it and also leaders into play. I have an entire video out about Saturn retrograde, which you can check out on my channel. So major events will be taking place with the themes of the 9th house and the 11th house, and this can involve the ruling elite and celebrities. Purva Bhadrapada is the front legs of the funeral cot, which is when something is dying, but remember, death is nothing but a transformation. But it's also the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, people portraying one image while being another behind closed doors. So be cautious of such people coming into your life with these hidden motives. The entire transit has been celebrities being outed or elites for their dark secrets. Now, on July 21st, we're going to have a full moon in Uttara Ashada in Capricorn. So this is the latter conquer, the latter victory. This will help you gain victory in a certain aspect of your lives that you are waiting for through a transformation. That can have to do with money, possessions, and family. This is also a symbol of fighting, which can be in the matters of war and resources. The sun will be in Pusha Nakshatra, which is a positive transformation that can occur for some in the matters of relationships that can make you feel nourished and that could be financially through inheritance or hard work. Venus will also be in the 7th house in Ashleisha. So this is where we must be cautious not to get deceived in love. It's a snake, but it's also psychic intuition. Saturn will be retrograding closer to the US moon. The economy could see problems as the US is undergoing Shawtee, and Saturn is the lord of the 2nd house of finance in the US chart, but this is also aspecting Scorpio in the 12th house of losses. So is Rahu and Jupiter. Jupiter is in the 6th house, causing major expenses for the country. The moon is the lord of the 8th house, and this is a significant transformation. This is also the house of death and the markets. So the aspects onto Scorpio, like I just mentioned, Jupiter in Taurus can cause significant weather and environmental issues with water such as floods or storms, but can also be with the earth as well, like earthquakes. And this is for the entire world, but can also cause a lack of water, like a drought due to accidents or heat is possible. For Canada, this is very significant as this moon will conjunct its IC, which is the homeland, and Saturn will station on its natal K2, aspecting Mars in the 1st house. These events will significantly change the country and cause an uproar. The last time these transits happened was when the province of Quebec almost separated from Canada and became its own country, and the banks shut down for a period of time, losing billions of dollars. This event will not repeat, but significant events will unfold and cause a lot of anger and violence involving the people, possibly including laws, schools, judges, and finance, and also the government itself. It will also trine its natal Saturn in the 7th house, which can bring out matters of war that affect the country's reputation. Matters of war will escalate for Israel and Palestine, which I covered in my Saturn transit video that is out right before this one. On July 12th, Mars will be entering Taurus, where it will be in detriment here. So it has to slow down before it acts. It might hold anger inside, which it doesn't like. It might be very stubborn as well. But it will be with Jupiter, which can amplify these frustrations for some, or it can help some to actually slow down and act for the betterment with knowledge and accumulation of resources. Watch your heart's speech. Venus will be entering Cancer on July 6th, so for the whole month will be in Cancer. So remember, Venus is actually enemies with the moon. So this is because a mother must be selfless and give up her selfish desires and lust to be a caregiver. Venus is about exploring these things as it is the guru of the asuras, demons, which is our lower aspect. It's important to keep our emotions in check and not to make any decisions solely based on our emotions, because our emotions can lead you astray, or our lust as well. So use your intuition. Now, another really big transit that's happening is Rahu is transiting into Uttara Bhadrapada. Now, that can either be 7th if you follow the true node, or July 5th if you follow the mean node. But either way, this is the back part of the funeral cot. It denotes our exit from this world, but it's the initial stage after death. So with Rahu here, we're actually going to the depths of our unconscious mind. It can mean spiritual awakenings, connecting with deities, kundalini awakenings, mass spiritual awakenings around the world, which I do believe come from some massive event in the beginning of the month that makes people want to turn beyond the physical planes. This is the yogi nakshatra, and what is a true yogi? An enlightened being, not someone who practices yoga for exercise. You have to know there's a very big difference, and that word is overused, especially in the West. Many will develop siddhis, which are mystical powers or supernatural powers, which are actually innate to humans. They are not supernatural, but that's another thing. And some will be initiated into spiritual orders, but be cautious, as there also is a rise of false gurus who are after your money, scam artists, full of deception. This is also a peak of the spiritual technology, or technology that mimics these types of experience, such as virtual reality or Neuralink, which is used to control the masses. If you awaken your consciousness and the dormant parts of your brain, you will see how these technologies are laughable. Also, Jupiter will be making an exact 5th aspect onto K2 on July 9th, amplifying this mass awakening. And then on July 5th, then we have the sun moving into Cancer, giving us heightening certain people's intuition as well and helping them to become more nourishing, more caring, looking after children, taking care of certain people. We slow down a little bit and start looking within. So there's two drastic things happening this month. There's the Mars-Saturn aspect happening, which is creating kind of this huge event and this anger for some, but then others, it's awakening them. It's very interesting to look at that and to see how that plays out. So I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you in the next one.